we talked a lot about our regrets and our points, but we also want to like make sure you know that there is a lot of good that comes out of this as well. A lot of personal victories and a lot. It's like a really good opportunity for you to like really be a big kid. Like you're really looking into yourself and what makes you tick, and you're writing that in your essay. So there's definitely a positive aspect to that as well, which we will highlight now.
So a really memorable part of my college application process was removing schools from my college list. So I kind of had a epiphany that even if I got into some schools, I really won't want to go there. So what was the point of applying there in the first place? So taking them off was a huge relief because it meant that I didn't have to write all those essays. And yeah, with every additional school you apply to, you're going to have to do there's going to be significantly more work because more essays, more research you have to do, not to mention more college application fees. And at the end of the day, you're only going to go to one school that you apply to.
Yeah, so for my personal victory, it was about for me, it was applying to the program I'm currently in and just making that a portfolio. So throughout high school and kind of life, I've never really been honest with myself about what I wanted to do in the future, probably be because of pressure from parents, society, etc. And I just, I thought I wasn't good enough to do anything else other than like a more safe route. But I managed to get the courage to tell my parents I wanted to major in cognitive science, which was a step for me. But even still, that was still a compromise on what I really wanted to do, which was this program. But I was really hesitant to apply because I thought I wasn't good enough and I thought I didn't have the requirements. And I kept stressing about the past, like things I should have done in the past to prepare me for now to apply. But and also I just thought it would be easier to keep my dreams separate from my reality. And if you don't try, then you can't fail, so it's fine. And I was just in general like lazy and insecure, but I think I really wanted to go to this program, so I found it in myself to forget about the past, just focus on the now, and get that courage to go and make that portfolio from scratch and go and apply. And so when I finally applied and clicked that submit button, I was so happy and felt so fulfilled. And it didn't matter if I got in or not to that college. I remember telling my mom, like, I don't care if I get in or not. I'm so proud of myself, because I realized no matter what college I end up going to or what major I end up doing, I know that I have it in me to go chase after my dreams and what I really want to do. So yeah, for me, that was my personal victory.
For me, my personal victory was getting into my first college. So like a little backstory, I guess. Like most people here, I also applied to a couple schools in the early round, and I ended up getting deferred from all of them. So I applied to 3 schools, got deferrals from all 3 of them. And I was just like really sad. I was like, oh, like I'm not gonna get into any college. Like this is, like nothing wrong with that, of course. But I really wanted to get out of my hometown. And that was like really, really important to me. And I was like, college is my only way out. So there was like this moment like between January to like March, which is when or February, when the results came in, where I was like, I'm just not going to get into college. And I would bother some of the people even here on this team with all my dreams that I had about me just staying in Cupertino for the rest of my life. And like, I was just so sad. But when I first got in, but my first college that I did get into was the UC Irvine, their honors program or something. And so I remember this moment perfectly. I was sitting doing my work. It was a Friday night. And then I just got an email from UC Irvine. I was like, oh, like it's February. Shouldn't they come like in March? Like whatever result, me getting rejected. And so then I opened, I was like, oh, they said congratulations, a bunch of like confetti and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I wasn't like super thrilled. Like UC Irvine was not like my dream school. It's an amazing school, just not for me. But it was just like, oh, it's my first school. And so I immediately called my dad, and I was like, oh, like I got in. And then he was like, I'm so proud of you. And he was like sobbing through the phone. And I was like, more than anything, that was the highlight of my day, is like making my parents proud. Because, well, first of all, the reaction made me think that they didn't think I was gonna get into college, which is a little bit sad. But it was just really nice to see them be genuinely happy for me, and to be proud of me. And like that was one of my biggest goals throughout this whole process and throughout life as well. So that was a nice feeling for sure.
So for me, Well, the school that we go to, it tends to be pretty toxic in terms of the academic environment, especially regarding like college names in particular and like the prestige surrounding them. And like no one really likes to admit that they are, um, adding on to this toxicity in the environment. And so like I kind of always went about like, oh, that doesn't matter that much to me, like prestige doesn't matter that much. But in reality, it's like, okay, it's going to get to you at some point. And I didn't really realize that until after, and I would kind of see like, oh, somebody got into XX school and they must be really good because they got into that school. But in reality, it's like everything's a very subjective and relative experience, right? And you can't really judge someone's circumstances just based on the name of the school that they went to, right? And I think especially like personally, after I had gotten rejected from some some private colleges that were fairly prestigious, but I didn't actually have that much heart to go after. I found myself to be very, very disappointed, and not even like disappointed at myself, but more so like, oh, I thought I disappointed everyone else and that I had like failed in my application, which is a really messed up thought to have. I mean, the point of this whole process is for you to go to your next stage in life, right? Like college. So it doesn't really matter where that ends up being, as long as you decided and you want to go there, like that's a success. So I think after I had like that experience of like self-reflection, I also saw other people in a different light. And like, I just became happy for people based on their own circumstances. Like if you went here, that's awesome. It doesn't really matter where it is, but if you're excited for that, then I'm really happy for you. So that was a super huge like personal character growth victory for me.
So that's it. If you have any questions, as always, write the questions in the comment box. Obviously, we can't like the Q&A session right now, but you can also just email us, reach out to us on editsforgood.com, and we're more than happy to help you. Thank you so much.